We begin with trending news south of the border today, where the world's largest aerospace company, Boeing, is trending. After a retired quality control engineer turned whistleblower was found dead by apparent suicide this week. Meanwhile, the company is also in the spotlight after dozens were injured during a flight from New Zealand to Australia after a plane suffered a technical event, one of a handful of recent incidents for a company already under the microscope.
My concerns are with the 737 and the 787 because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added.
John Barnett spent 32 years with Boeing before retiring in 2017 and going public about quality control and safety concerns over the company's aircraft production. According to the Charleston County Coroner's Office in South Carolina, Barnett was found dead on Saturday of what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 62-year-old was in the midst of a whistleblower lawsuit against Boeing, alleging retaliation for what he characterized as the company cutting corners on assembly lines for their planes. Barnett was one of several whistleblowers who raised concerns in a 2019 New York Times article over issues at the company's South Carolina plant where the 787 Dreamline is built, alleging he discovered clusters of metal slivers hanging over the wiring that commands the flight controls, which could have what he called catastrophic effects. According to the BBC, just days before his death, he had given evidence to a lawsuit against the company. In a statement to multiple outlets, Boeing says, quote, "We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing, and our thoughts are with his family and friends." Meanwhile, dozens were injured during a LATAM Airlines flight on a Boeing 787 Dreamliner from Sydney, Australia to New Zealand yesterday. Brian Jocat, a Canadian living in the UK and currently traveling around the world, said he was not hurt when the aircraft dropped, but witnessed other passengers hitting the ceiling of the aircraft and flying through the air, adding that he feared for his life.
And I opened my eyes and there was various individuals at the top of the plane, just stuck to the roof, and then they fell to the floor. And then I just realized I'm not in a movie. This is actually for real.
According to the airline, the flight experienced a technical event resulting in a strong movement, but did not elaborate. Also on Monday, a United Airlines Boeing 777-300 flight bound for San Francisco was rerouted back to Sydney Airport for an emergency landing due to a maintenance issue. And last week, a United Airlines Boeing 777-200 flight headed to Japan lost a tire during takeoff from San Francisco. Back in Washington Monday, officials announced they have uncovered systemic problems at Boeing. The Federal Aviation Administration found problems with what it refers to as plant hygiene. The FAA put Boeing on notice, have a plan to fix the problems by late May, or the agency could shut down production.
It wasn't just paperwork issues. Sometimes it's order that work is done. Sometimes it's tool management. It sounds kind of pedestrian, but it's really important in a factory that you have a way of tracking your tools effectively so that you have the right tool and that you know you didn't leave it behind. So it's really plant floor hygiene, if you will, and a variety of issues of that nature.
All this comes after Boeing admitted it didn't keep necessary paperwork on production of the 737 MAX 9 plane, whose door plug blew out mid-flight earlier this year. A preliminary report by the National Transportation Safety Board blamed that problem on the panel missing 4 critical bolts. The Wall Street Journal reported this weekend the U.S. Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation into that Air Alaska flight.